Hello everyone, welcome again to my home. This message comes as we continue to live with lockdown, to struggle with the virus, to get on with everyday things, and also as we look towards what might come next. Whether you've been able to use this time constructively, as it seems Bishop David has from what we saw in his last message, or like me perhaps have been finding it rather more difficult to summon up energy, whatever, we are all in this together. And it is our solidarity under God, I know, that will see us through. Solidarity that is grounded in faith and hope and love. Yesterday, the Gospel reading was the walk of the two disciples from Jerusalem to Emmaus. I always find it powerful. This year, it has spoken to me very deeply because almost every day of lockdown, Mum and I have been able to go out for a walk. We don't go far, just through the village, but we've seen how the hedgerows and gardens have changed, and we've met people and said hello from a distance, and we've talked and listened and wondered. It is as they are walking that the two disciples are joined by someone whom at first they don't recognise. The man says to them, "What are all these things that you are discussing as you are walking along?" It's a question that kind of irritates the disciples, or at least takes them aback, and so their conversation with each other and with the man becomes more intense. But they talk, and he teaches and explains until they reach their destination, at which point he looks as though he's going to go on alone, and they press him to stay. The Gospel story ends with the disciples recognizing that their companion has been the risen Christ. As I've said, Mum and I have been taking regular walks, so I reckon that I'm open to picturing myself as being on that same road to Emmaus. So perhaps this story should particularly speak this year. But I actually think it speaks because of some of the differences as well as some of the similarities. Where is the breaking of the bread for us, in which Jesus is recognised, for example? Who is Jesus for us and with us, as it were, as we walk? Is he somehow in the people that we meet? Are they his face, his voice, such fleeting conversations? Or is he in what we see as we walk, in what we talk about, in the explorations of our hearts, the occasional tears that flow as we recognise loss or face fear? This is such a familiar story, and it's normally hugely comforting, a regular Easter favourite. But my strong sense is that this year the story is different, interrupted, not yet ended, and thus extraordinarily powerful. I don't think that I, or my mum and me, have yet got to Emmaus. I am sure that we are being accompanied, and that the risen Christ is with us. That is his promise, and I believe it. But I am not yet sure precisely what is being said, what we are being asked to do, what is going to come next. Easter 2020 is a different Easter from any that I have yet known, and I think we are being asked to sit a while with uncertainty, to continue to walk if we're able, and certainly to continue to talk, to listen to God's word, to study, to hold the uncertainty for others, for ourselves, while also seeking to rest in the certainty that is God. I know that people are wanting to look beyond lockdown, and I know that there is both a desire to get back to normal and a dawning sense that normal might be very different. This week, I've had a number of online conversations in which people have asked for certainty so that we can plan. And we do need to look forward. That is about being hopeful, about responding to God. But I am very wary about suggesting that there can be any certainty other than that which is located in the depths of the Creator. And I think my call now, our call perhaps, is to look into those depths with all our strength, with all our God-given abilities and qualities, to look deeply and to draw on him, from which drawing in time our action and response will flow. Last year, I think at our clergy gathering here in Lincoln, I spoke about the beautiful clematis that was delighting me with its flowers and that I had planted outside my back door. Having spoken about the clematis, it promptly wilted. I was sad, and I looked at its brown leaves throughout the autumn and winter and hoped that it would revive. Nothing. When this lockdown began, I thought, now is the time to replace the clematis. I can still buy plants online. Time to do something new, different, to respond to plan. And I ordered and bought a new clematis. As I prepared to plant the clematis, taking it out of its box, I looked one last time at the old one that I was about to dig up and saw a tiny green shoot at its base. It's fragile, but it is there and growing. I'm now carefully watering the old with its new shoot and the new clematis in a different part of the garden. I haven't decided what this means yet, if anything. I'm just hanging on to the fact of God. God in the Easter garden. God with us. God alongside us. God inviting us to patience, to looking deeply, inviting us through all the difficulty to be people of trust and hope. May you know God's blessing in your lives and in the lives of all whom you love this continuing Eastertide. Amen.